People have been asking me how can they trade using Asia, London or New York the right way. People have been asking how they can trade with sessions the right way. So that is what I'm going to be explaining today, because we are going to use our bigger time frame to be our H1 and the immediate time frame to be our M15. Our entry time frame has to be our 1 minute or our 3 minutes. So here in Nigeria, London session starts around 7, which you have to be on your phone, on your chat or your laptop around 8, and it closes around 11 a.m. While the New York session starts around 1 and it closes around 5 p.m. here in Nigerian time. Then while the Asia session itself, it started around 9:10 and closes around 6-7 a.m. in the morning. So you should know how you can mark out your sessions and fold your hands and wait for whatever you are looking for this strategy to unfold before you can take a trade. So I'm going to point it one after another on how you can use this, the indicator we are to use along with this. If you don't understand this, you go through it again and again, you'll be able to understand, because I'm going to break it down very simple, like a 3-year-old child can understand. So let's get to the chart, but don't forget to subscribe. So for us to implement this strategy, let's check for the things that we needed for this strategy to work. So first, we are to look for the trend of the market. If the trend is bullish on our H1, we are to look for something like this. So if the trend of the market is bullish, we are looking for a consolidation on our M15. We are looking for a consolidation. This consolidation can serve as our Asia range. So we are going to use our Asia range indicator to map this out. So this consolidation can serve as our Asia range. So we are going to be waiting. Once this box is breaking out to the upside, we mark out our zone, our last bearish candle at this point. We mark out our last bearish candle at this point. Then we are going to expect this market to come into this zone on a smaller time frame. It could be our 1 minute or 3 minutes. Once it comes into this zone, we are looking for a shift in market structure for us to take this trade to the upside, or a candlestick confirmation at this zone. So this is what we are going to be looking at. This is what we are going to be looking at. If the H1 is bullish, we are going to be looking for this kind of setup for us to take our trade. This can happen either London section or New York section. This has to be after Asia is when you are going to start looking for your entry in this market. So that is for the bull scenario. So for the sell side, we are going to be looking for something like this. We are looking for the market to break structure to the downside. This has to happen on our H1. So after which we notice our trend, in the market, we have to move down to our M15 and look for a consolidation. We look for a consolidation. This is to say this market has been consolidating at this point. This is before London section. It has to be consolidating. Then around London section, if this market break out of this zone, we mark out the base that lead to the break of this zone. We mark it out. Upon us marking that out, we move to our 1 minute or 3 minutes. We wait for the market to come inside this zone, and once the market come inside this zone, it may give us a shift in market structure or a candlestick confirmation for us to take this trade back to the downside. This can give us a bigger RR. So first, you should go with the bigger time frame so that you will not go against the trend it's better you go with the trend. Don't counter trend except you know what you are doing. So this is what we are looking at the bear scenario of this market, and this is the bear side. This is the bear trend when it comes to your H1 to your M15 to your M1 or 3 minutes. Then you take your trade to the downside. So this is what we are going to be looking at before any other thing, and we are going to use our Asia range by Nico 948. That is the indicator we are going to be using along with this strategy. So guys, feel free to comment. If you have any questions, you ask. If you have any questions, you ask, comment, subscribe to this channel. So let us get to the chart. Let me show you how you can implement this step by step. So right now I'm on J40 H1. So first, once you get your H1 chart, you have to know the trend of the market. So first, you have to know the trend of the market. So I have to turn my chart to a line chart for me to know the trend. So I have to turn my chart right here to a line chart. So I've seen that this market is breaking structure to the downside. Whatever you are doing, you should pick any time frame as your daily. You should treat any of the time frame as your daily chart. That could be your H1 4-hour or your daily. But for the sake of this trade, I'm going to be using my H1. So let's mark our zones together. We've seen this, the market was breaking structure to the downside. It was breaking structure to the downside. Now it's break structure to the downside. As this market breaks structure to the downside, it's now for us to mark out the zone. Now that we mark out this zone, it's now for us to move down to our M15. Even if you do not mark out this zone, you should first note your H1 trend. If your H1 trend is bearish, now it is for you to go to your M15. If your H1 trend is bearish, for you to go to your M15 and look for entry to sell. If your M1 trend is bullish, it's for you to go to your M15. You look for entry, move down to 1 minute and buy. So for the sake of this scenario, our H1 right now, it's bearish. So for that sake, we are only going to be taking a sell trade. So now that our H1 is bearish, let us get to our M15 together. Guys, don't forget to subscribe. So right on my M15, I have to turn my chart to my normal candle. So once I turn this chart to my normal candle, it is now for me to plug in my sessions indicator. And I'm going to be using sessions by Nico 90 something. Let me check. I'm going to type Asia. I'm going to my indicator. On my indicator, I'll type Asia session. Asia sessions. Okay. So I'm searching for the one I will use. Asia sessions. Oh, this one I can't find it here. Asia sessions. Okay, the one I choose is already on my chart. So if you see the name of the one you are looking for, you just click on it. So this is the one I'm using. Asia range by Nico 984. That is the one I'm using. So once I click on it, since my H1 was bearish, then once I click and enable that indicator, you don't need any setting. You do not need any setting at all. The only thing you are looking for is, since your H1 is bearish, we are going to wait for this box. This box is this indicator that I just pluck on this chart, which is Asian range nickel 984. That's the one I'm using. So it is this box I'm looking for. This box is what I'm looking at right now. So I'm going to wait for this box to get taken to the downside, this very box to get taken to the downside. If this market break this box to the high side, I will not be taking this trade. But if this market break this box close to the downside, I'm going to be taking a sell trade. So once the market close below, once this market close below this box, I'm going to be marking that zone that lead to that break of structure in this box, which is this, the last OB. This last candle is what I'm going to be marking. That is to say, if market open, if you are to take a buy trade, if market open, you are expecting something like this. You are expecting a ranging market, ranging market, ranging market. If you are expecting a sell, ranging in breaks to the downside, it take out all this liquidity right here. See all this liquidity. The market takes out all this liquidity right here, and it breaks structure to the downside. So this point is where I'm going to mark out my zone. I'm going to mark out my zone at this point. So once the market comes into this zone, I'm going to move to my smaller time frame to look for my entry to the downside. So this is what we are going to be looking at. So that is it. So as this market now breaks structure to the downside from this zone, as it's broken structure to the downside from this zone, I'm going to mark here. Once I mark this zone, which is the last bullish candle before the breaks in this structure. So once I mark out that zone, I'm going to be waiting for London section to open or New York. So once these two sections open, I'm going to my 1 minute chart. I'm going to my 1 minute chart and wait for market to come into that zone for me to take a trade to the downside. So on my 1 minute chart, what will I be expecting for? I'll be either expect a shift in market structure or a candlestick confirmation once the market gets to the zone. So here was the zone that I marked, and I'm using 3 minutes because I did not have enough data on my trading view for me to get to the 1 minute chart, because I'm not using the paid version of trading view. So I have to move down to 3 minutes to look for my entry criteria for this zone. So the entry criteria I'm supposed to be looking at this zone on my 1 minute should be something like this. Should be something like this on my 1 minute. Upon retesting this zone, I'm going to take my entry down. So this should be what I should have been looking at on my 1 minute, or I will look for candlestick confirmation. That is a bearish candle. So that is what I'm going to be looking at my 3 minutes chart right here. So you see that the market come into the zone and close inside, not with a wick. It closes inside. As the market comes to the zone and close inside, now if you turn this chart now to a line chart, you can see a break. There's a break of structure right here from this zone. So here now will be your point of interest. There must be a candle here, the last bullish candle that lead to that breakout structure, that hidden structure will be my entry. Okay, so here will be my entry. That candle here will be my entry. That candle there will be my entry, or this engulfing pattern will be my entry. This engulfing pattern will be my entry. But I don't like taking trade on 3 minutes. I'd rather take it on 1 minute. So I'll go with this one. This is how I place my trade. My stop loss come a bit below, above that zone, and I may target 1 to 15 weeks to reward. 1 to 15, and that is 1:15 weeks to reward, just by trading setup, just by trading this setup. So this is how you can trade your London in your New York section using Asia range liquidity graph, following up with the bigger time frame like H1. So this is how you can implement this strategy step by step for it to work out for your advantage. So don't forget to subscribe to this channel, turn on notification bell for more tutorial to come. Peace as I sign out.